Welcome back. Third and final segment of the show. If you missed any of our segments, any of our interviews, remember you can always catch up podcast. Best way to do it, go to my website, paulamadeouslane.com. Click on Tech Zone. It'll take you to all the formats where you can catch up, the YouTube channel. You name it, we're there. You like that sound effect right there? Yeah, I did too. All right, data breaches. Data breaches. We know in the news here recently in this country, indictments went down of ones who breached Yahoo's data and got a lot of information out there. What can be done to help us out? Well, take a look at this video right here as it explains what this one company is doing to keep us safe.
Data breach and cybersecurity incidents cannot be avoided, but they can be mitigated effectively if specific actions are taken. React fast. Reduce reaction time by cutting through the noise generated by existing security devices such as SIEMs. Be compliant. Show that the organization has taken all the appropriate steps to deal with an incident, and due diligence in handling it is ensured. Share knowledge. Selectively share intelligence with the rest of the world in a controlled and effective way. We know that reducing the complexity of cybersecurity incidents and data breaches with a single management platform results in dramatically enhanced reaction and resolution timeframes. In other words, cyber incidents under control. So how can you keep your cyber incidents under control? We have the solution, Inkman NG. Inkman is a technology platform for security operations and incident response teams that enables collaborative and automated real-time incident management, as well as threat and data breach response. Also, visual analytics offer users the ability to predict future incidents. Streamline your cyber incident management with Inkman. Automated responses and forensics, customizable dashboards and reports, and many more features allow you to generate output ready to be presented to senior management and other stakeholders. Furthermore, Inkman shares intelligence via a secure approach and also provides you with access to an advanced knowledge base, which can support you in promptly finding applicable information for swift incident resolution, as well as root cause analysis. Inkman integrates with over 50 third-party vendors, amongst others HP ArcSight, FireEye, IBM QRadar, Splunk, and many more. Regardless of the size or industry you are in, if you have a SOC or a CCERT, Inkman NG is your automated incident management and response platform of choice. So what are you waiting for? Contact us now for a free demo. We can't wait to show you how you can also embrace the Inkman NG motto, cyber incidents under control.
And I'm so happy to have with me right now the CEO of DF Labs, Dario Forte. Dario, how are you doing, my friend?
Everything is okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, Dario. And when we think of what's going on with data breaches right now, you've been in the industry for a long time. Are hackers being creative now with these data breaches than, let's say, 15, 20 years ago?
It's just a matter of a company being able to recognize that a data breach happened. The number of data breach and attack has always been pretty high. The difference now is that companies are more able to detect the attack and detect the data breach. And they are more able to do it now than before because the level of sophistication of the detection technologies is absolutely higher than before. The cost is absolutely higher than before. And of course, the impact that such breaches have on company budget and P&L is much higher than before. So now data breaches are having a bigger exposure into the media and also into the investment community. And my personal opinion is that in the next 36 to 48 months, due to very restrictive regulation in terms of data breaches and so on, the legal exposure will generate even more hype on it.
Dario, you brought up a very good point about companies recognizing that they have a data breach. So a company could have a breach right now and not even know. So how could they find out if they have been compromised?
I don't want to minimize nor de-emphasize the situation, but the majority of the cases where company, even big one, know about their data breach exposure is because some third party get in touch with them and say, look, we got some data that probably are pertaining to you. So their capability of detecting what happened is, again, is higher than before, but especially in the most important cases, what happening is that third parties are dealing with data that came out from somebody else, and they are obliged to notify that some problem happened. It happened a couple of days ago with a very important data breach that happened to a payment processing company in the United States, where they basically were notified by one of the card consortium that their data have been breached. So they were not able to understand about it until the moment that the credit card issuer was able to let them know that something wrong happened. And when that happened, they understood that the breach was very high. So they tried to contain, from a media perspective, the impact on it, but was absolutely almost impossible. So again, the process is more complex than before. It's not always possible internally to understand that something wrong happened until the moment that somebody else come in and say that something wrong is happening.
That's true. And Dario, you talked about the threat even being more now. Is it because we now have entered the Internet of Things now that a lot of things are left vulnerable, in this realm?
My personal opinion is that Internet of Things will definitely raise the bar and will definitely point a higher attention on the problem of hacking and performing data breach. But I don't want to create any concern. But my opinion is that IoT in general will create more exposure to more sophisticated and critical attack that will open the door to cyber terrorism probably more than before. Because IoT is basically the interconnectivity of everything that is in our house or in a plane or whatever can be accessible by an IP address. So again, I think that IoT will definitely raise the interest on the hacking and the dark phase of the force or the moon, whatever you want to call it. But probably the issues will be even more complicated because there will be some important impact on the daily life of everyone.
And Dario, I'm so happy to be talking to you because looking at your background as a cybersecurity expert and a software entrepreneur, you bring a unique perspective to this realm right here. And when it comes to threat prevention and response, why is that so important when it comes to data breaches?
Because the more you have access to threat intelligence and the more you can automate your investigation and your response to incident, the less exposure you have and the less risk you will face. So there is a technology trend at the moment in the world where basically vendors like DF Labs, the company I represent, are working on incident response, automation, and orchestration. So basically what happened is that there are type of platforms that are able to orchestrate input and output from several data sources and can activate a series of automated action that can reduce the reaction time up to 85-90%, which is very important when it comes into responding to incidents timely. So threat intelligence, threat sharing, automated incident response, orchestrations are all terms that at the moment are helping companies to reduce the reaction time. And since there is an important skills shortage, so it is not easy to find people able to react to attack. The people who are in the company needs to be helped by the machine in order to reduce the reaction time and automate tasks that until now were conducted manually. So it is an important technology trend that with the help of machine learning will be even more effective in the next 18 to 24 months.
And Dario, that's when we see the integration of AIs, the digital forensics, all these things that are incorporated in what you guys are doing over there. But one term maybe some of our viewers and listeners may not be familiar with is e-discovery. Can you give us a little background on what e-discovery is?
E-discovery is the capability to acquire data that are stored digitally in order to be reproduced and presented in court during a court proceeding. So e-discovery is a technology trend that used to be related to document management, if you look at the historical period of 10 years ago. But now, because of the introduction of several regulations, e-discovery actually became mandatory in many states and in many countries, and at the same time can still help companies, especially in case of litigation, to reduce the data collection and make the data available in case of litigation. It's a very interesting topic. Again, it used to be document management, but at the moment there are many e-discoveries companies all over the world. Some of them is going to be to become public via IPO in the next few weeks. So it is a trend that mostly related to corporate environment, but it's something that is definitely become important and almost a commodity, I would say.
Well said. And Dario, being in the industry for many years, working with several U.S. agencies, NASA, and also some of the companies that you've advised, over 150 companies of $400 million annually that they bring in, that has to be kind of a weighty responsibility, knowing that you've been tasked with the protection of these agencies, and just talk about that and just how you have to just be on your toes at all times.
It is a growing responsibility, and the market is surrounded, I would say, by marketing hype and all these things that make investment, by the way, involved in it. But at the end of the day, especially in my sector, which is incident response, there are no more than 300, 400 professionals all over the world that are actively involved and that are usually asked by companies to help them in case of breach or to prevent breaches, because there are two moments of the life cycle of a breach that involve external people like myself. The good news is that also the scientific community and the defense community, also here in the US, is growing the attention, and they are helping the IR, incident response community, in helping companies. So I foresee a brighter future for this discipline that used to be mostly a scientific kind of thing, but now is definitely becoming a mainstream also for business corporation.
And Dario, let's talk about being a CEO now. When you guys decided to create the company, what was kind of the mindset to go in and say, okay, I want to create DF Labs now. Take us through that journey.
It really depends. When I started, I can confess you that I put a lot of money from my pocket in it, but I was always sure that sooner or later that business is going to grow. So my suggestion for entrepreneurs that are going to start this path is, first of all, performing a very deep due diligence on what the market is looking for, and focus the effort, including the money that they are going to put in the companies and they are going to ask investors to put in solving problems, rather than just claiming that they have the best technology and the best product that probably is not useful for anybody. So the due diligence is probably one of the first thing. The second thing is build a reputation based upon the right mix between scientific approach and business approach. And third, which is probably one of the most important, be surrounded by the right people. The execution is one of the most critical moments in a startup. And if you have the right people, you can succeed. And if you take the wrong people, you can probably get out of it.
Absolutely. And the busy New York traffic, I know about it, my friend. So that shows you guys are always working out there. But so Dario, looking at your flagship product, Inkman, we showed a video before I brought you on. Take us through from when you guys decided this is something we want to do and bring it to market. How much time did it take for you guys to bring that product to market?
From a development standpoint, it required 3 years in stealth mode for the company to create a stable product. And it is a very important question, and I thank you for that. Entrepreneurs made probably too often the mistake to build a minimal viable product and then start with marketing instead of creating some solid technology. Now, this period has passed on. I mean, customers are looking for stable technologies, so they are not going to invest in minimum viable product. They are looking for something that is much more of the prototype. So that's why it took almost 36 months for us to build it up. Now, with the new generation, with the new version of the product that we just announced at the RSA conference in San Francisco a couple of months ago, which is, by the way, one of the most important events worldwide for cybersecurity, we involved additional number of people. I have currently almost 40 people, developers. They are involved in this particular type of product. So it took additional 24 months to get the level we are. Because now we are employing, machine learning engines able to automatically apply reactions, and we call them playbooks to incidents and alarms that are generated by the security ecosystems.
Fascinating story, and good advice out there for entrepreneurs out there too. And you talked about your team. Teamwork makes the dream work, doesn't it? When you have a good team, it makes things happen. You mind sharing a story with us of how you guys were able to help a big corporation or a federal agency to bring ones to justice? You have one of those good, juicy stories for us, Dario?
Well, I can share one of the things that made me decide to get into this career. Okay. It was about the end of year 2000. And at that time, I was still in the financial police in Italy. And we found a group of, at that time they were well-respected cybersecurity consultant that actually they had a normal job at day, but they had a double life at night, and they were responsible to steal several important secrets from some US agency and some military corp here in the United States. So at that time we arrested 15 people that were responsible to steal many important, files. And the funny thing is that when we got into their house 5 a.m. in the morning to arrest them, they were saying, we didn't expect that you were so sophisticated and able to reach us. So the bottom line in that case was that never underestimate your enemy. Even if you are an attacker or if you are on the other side of the ballpark. And from a company standpoint, at the moment, we are getting very good results in helping company in reducing their reaction time. For example, they may have 5 to 6 people involved into security incidents, but they have so much data, so many data to investigate that doing the investigation manually became almost impossible. So at the moment, with the usage of our incident management and orchestration and automation platform, we can reduce their manual activity up to 80%, even 85% time to time. That means lower reaction time, more productivity, and at the same time more effectiveness in responding to incident, which is very important nowadays.
And Dario, thank you so much for sharing that story. When you broke into the guys and brought them to justice, when they said you should have told them you didn't know about me and my reputation. Of course, I'm gonna come get you. That's what you tell people next time, right? Say I'm Dario.
Was interesting.
Yeah, say I'm Dario. So you don't mess with me. That's what you tell them now.
They made the song about me. They did the song. It was a period when I was still in the police, and they did a song about me in Italian, saying. You were able to bring to catch our friends, but now you will not be able to catch us. If you make some search on Google, you will probably still find it. It was a fun period. Yes.
I'm gonna check that out, Dario. Thank you so much for sharing that.
I will send you the link. It was a funny story.
Awesome. So Dario, how can ones find out more information about DFS Labs and keep abreast of some of the things that you guys are doing out there?
They can go to our website, is dflabs.com, and we have a lot of also white papers and information that can be useful. And at the same time, they can get in touch with us via Twitter or LinkedIn, where we usually update our company page and where we keep people up to date on the current trends of information security.
Awesome. Before I let you go, my friend, is there anything else you'd like to articulate to our audience that we weren't able to cover? So anything else you'd like to share?
Well, there is a lot of hype on artificial intelligence applied to cybersecurity. My main advice to people who have budget responsibility is, ask for serious proof of concept of what vendors are claiming AI to solve, be able to solve. Because machine learning and artificial intelligence at the moment are very recurring marketing buzz or marketing kind of message. But from a scientific standpoint, the maturity of the technology is not always there yet. The good news is that machine learning and artificial intelligence applied to cybersecurity will not replace humans, but will give them the possibility to become more effective. So that's why we say that machine learning and artificial intelligence in security will create superhumans, will not replace them.
Well said. I'm glad you shared that with us, my friend, and you're welcome back anytime. Love to have you on again. If you have any more stories, anybody's making more songs about you, you come back and let me know. Okay, Dario?
It's a pleasure for me. Thank you very much for having me.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, Dario, so we'll stop the recording right there. You did an awesome job, my friend. Very, very informative. All right, we thank Dario Forte from DFS, keeping us secure, keeping our information safe, and the companies out there too. Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Tech Zone. We hope you enjoyed all of our great guests. If you missed any part of the show, you can always podcast, catch up on the show. Best way to do it, paulamadeouslane.com. You can catch up on YouTube. You can catch up on SoundCloud, Spreaker, you name it, Stitcher. We got you covered. iTunes. Check it out. The Tech Zone with Paul Amadeus Lane. Subscribe to it. Until next time, remember, turn someone's frown into a smile. Leave someone in a better mood in which you received them. And what's the last one? Can't think right now, but next week I'll remember. Have a good one. I'm Paul Amadeus Lane. Until next time.